It was a scorcher. August in Applewood. The sun beat down on the annual county fair. The Ferris wheel groaned, kids screamed, and the smell of fried dough hung heavy in the air. But the real action was inside. The annual Applewood pie baking contest, a tradition since 1852. Blue ribbons galore and bragging rights for a whole year. This year, the tension was thicker than Aunt Millie's gravy. Old Mrs. Henderson, 5-time champion, was back. Her apple pie? Legendary. Little did anyone know chaos was about to unfold. Meet Joe, Larry, and Tim, best friends since kindergarten. They've been through thick and thin together, sharing countless adventures and misadventures, known for their shenanigans, not their culinary prowess. Joe, the ringleader, always had a knack for getting them into trouble, always up for a challenge, especially if it involved potential public humiliation. Larry, the tall one, was the most reluctant, but never backed down from a dare. 2 left feet and a knack for spilling things. Larry could turn the simplest task into a comedy of errors. Tim, the quiet one, was the wild card, until he wasn't. Then, watch out. When Tim got excited, he was a whirlwind of energy and ideas. Somehow, Joe convinced them to enter the pie contest. It was supposed to be a fun, harmless activity. How hard can it be, he'd said, winking. Famous last words. They had no idea what they were getting into. They showed up at the registration table. Flour dusted their clothes, mischief in their eyes. They were ready to take on the world, or at least the pie contest. The crowd, sensing a spectacle, gathered. People whispered and pointed, eager to see what these 3 would do. The pie contest just got interesting, with Joe, Larry, and Tim in the mix. Anything could happen, and everyone knew it. The first challenge? The dough. Joe read the recipe out loud. Larry measured flour, or tried to. Most of it ended up on Tim's head. "It's snowing!" Joe shouted, laughing. Next, the rolling pin. Larry, convinced he was a natural, swung it back. Too hard. The dough flew up, landing with a splat on the ceiling. They stared up, then at each other, then burst into laughter. This was a disaster, but a hilarious one. Section 4, Inferno in the Pie Crust, and the Great Food Fight of 24. It all started innocently enough, with a simple plan to bake an apple pie. But things quickly spiraled out of control. They managed to scrape the dough off the ceiling, a testament to the chaos that had already begun. Somehow, amidst the mayhem, a pie crust emerged. Now the filling, apples, cinnamon, sugar. What could go wrong? Plenty, as it turned out. Tim, in a sugar-fueled frenzy, bumped into Larry, sending him reeling. Larry stumbled into the oven, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. The pie crust, however, was not so lucky. It went flying through the air and landed upside down on Joe's head, much to everyone's shock and amusement. But that wasn't the worst of it. The real trouble was just beginning. The oven door swung open and smoke billowed out, filling the kitchen with a thick, choking haze. The pie was on fire. Panic ensued as everyone scrambled to put out the flames. Water splashed everywhere, and flour flew through the air, creating a scene of utter chaos. Before long, a full-blown food fight erupted, with everyone hurling whatever they could get their hands on. It was a day to remember, the Great Food Fight of the 24. The food fight ended as quickly as it started, a whirlwind of chaos and laughter. Everyone stood there, covered in pie filling, flour, and regret. Their clothes and faces a testament to the madness that had just unfolded. Except Joe, Larry, and Tim. They were the masterminds behind the chaos. They were laughing so hard, tears streamed down their faces, their sides aching from the sheer hilarity of it all. They were disqualified, of course. Their antics had broken every rule in the book. Their pie, a charred, gooey mess. But they didn't care. It was never about the pie. They had created something legendary, a moment that would be remembered far longer than any perfectly baked pie. The Great Pie Fiasco of 24. A name that would go down in local history. The story became local legend, passed down from generation to generation, told and retold at every county fair after. Joe, Larry, and Tim, they became the stuff of legends. They never did win a blue ribbon for their baking. Their pies were always a disaster. But they won something better. They won the hearts and laughter of everyone who heard their story. A reputation for bringing the funny. They became the unofficial jesters of the county fair, and reminding everyone that sometimes, the biggest disasters make the best stories. Their legacy was one of joy and laughter, a reminder that perfection isn't everything. Like this video and subscribe to Short Tales, shop for film and cinema essentials. Links are in the description.